Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 71, locked and loaded, ready to go. What's up, Joe? How you doing today?
Doing good, Kirky. Good to be back here on the mic here, back on the set. Episode 71. It's been a transition period for me right now. Just kind of commuting back and forth to Fresno. Been getting the work in all week. Feel like I'm getting back into shape, getting back into like athletic form. But this is what I look forward to at the end of each week, is to come back here and rip a podcast with you. So what I want to talk to you today is, first off, how are you doing? It's been 2 weeks since we did the last one.
Cool. We've got the Super Bowl to talk about, obviously.
Yeah,
because last week I didn't want to show up.
Episode 70 is going to be coming out tomorrow. The day is February 17th. Me and John Paul talked about it. But yeah, I want to get your thoughts on it because you had some strong opinions.
Well, first of all, I want to hit you with this. So the guy, my bookie that I bet with,
yeah,
he had 150 bets on Super Bowl, and
okay.
2 out of 150 were on the 49ers, and 148 bets were on the Chiefs. He said it was his biggest single-day loss of all time.
So how much would he have to pay, you think, if he lost 148 bets?
Well, okay, his minimum bet's 50, his max bet's 500, so you have to assume, and it's a Super Bowl. Most people are betting the most they do all year. So say a $300 average bet for 150 people, that's $45,000.
Yeah. So
and only 2 people had the Niners. So he probably lost about $40,000.
You know, I mean, that sucks for that bookie, whatever. Yeah, you got to play.
But how crazy is that? Out of 150 people, and I was one of the 2 people who had the Niners.
You took the Niners?
Yeah.
What? I thought you were like the guys that I can't go against Mahomes.
I couldn't, but I thought of the way I thought of it is, I know Kyle Shanahan is the biggest choke artist of all time, and I know it. I knew it, and I know Mahomes is a different ball player in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs, but if you would have told me that the Niners are -1 to play the Chiefs at any point in this season, I would have hammered the Niners. I think
you got the -2 going into it.
I had it at I had the money line -125, but it was I didn't on Super Bowls I just play the money line, but it was I was one of 2 people out of 150 who had the Niners.
Okay, so first off, I know there was a lot of missed calls during the game that they're going to say, okay, Kansas City was one of the most penalized teams all season when it came like holding penalties.
Well, I didn't even know that, and during the entire game, I watched the entire game. The whole game, I'm saying that's a holding.
Yeah,
that's a holding, and the game kept progressing. I was
like pivotal moments too.
Yeah, third downs and stuff, and I started realizing Kansas City hasn't been called for a holding offensively all game long.
Yeah.
And this is the best D-line in the entire league.
I mean, there's so many clips that I saw of like Nick Bosa almost getting to him. The guy's just holding. Just hold him real quick, so he can get around the pocket. I saw
one where a guy fully wraps his arms around Bosa and connects his arms around him.
Yeah.
I saw clips of Hargrave getting held, Chase Young, Eric Armstead. I saw probably 15 different plays of terrible holdings, and I learned that not only that the Chiefs were the most penalized holding team in the regular season, they haven't been called for an offensive holding this entire postseason.
Yeah.
And for the last 3 postseasons.
Or it was like the last 3 Super Bowls. Yeah. Something crazy like that.
And it's the best D-line in the league.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a guy like Nick Bosa. Chase Young got a sack in that game. Hargrave's a stud. Eric Armstead. Okay, you can say that, but also you can also say you could argue that there is a holding on almost every football play, any passing down. There's probably you could call a flag pretty much on any passing play. But to also say, okay, yeah, sure, there's that. But the Niners still had a chance, and this is where it goes back to Kyle Shanahan, where it's like, dude, that is so inexcusable to be like, we didn't know the overtime rules, where you win the coin toss, and you know both teams are going to get a chance at it, and you elect to receive knowing that Pat Mahomes is going to get the ball second. Like, that makes no sense. For a guy so detailed, so I guess almost pedantic to a sense of just knowing every minor detail into the game of football, being so schematically sound. You don't know the overtime rules.
Well, I don't know
Super Bowl?
what he thought if if they got a touchdown, the game was going to be over in the Super Bowl. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, that was the old overtime
Those are the
format.
regular season overtime rules.
Yeah, that it changes in the playoffs because it happened in that
the Bills
Chiefs game. Then even before that, in the AFC Championship against the Patriots when they played the Chiefs and the Patriots won, right? So how do you not know that? And that has to be a flaw of Kyle Shanahan in that situation. Because the Chiefs, granted, maybe they're just saying this because they won the Super Bowl, but they're like, we were practicing like our plays and what was going to happen in overtime if we got the ball second. Like we were going to go for 2. If the Niners scored on that first possession, we were going to go for it to win the game. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something to leave out.
Well, honestly, if I was Shanahan, I'd probably take the ball first also, even though it is Mahomes, and knowing that if the Chiefs do score, I get to go for it on 4th down, and you're probably not going for it on 4th downs if you take it first. But if the Chiefs do get the ball first and score, like, you want it all on Purdy and your offense to go and get a touchdown.
But at least you know what you have to get.
I know.
And you give the opportunity if you do score the win.
I would have done the same thing. I would have taken the ball first and tried to get any points on the board and go put my defense out there to make the stop. That's what I would have done, especially with the defense that they've got. But that's another thing that that defensive coordinator for the 49ers, he shouldn't just be fired, but he should be ousted from the league.
Okay, why?
Joseph,
you were saying this after I called you after the Super Bowl.
I had never seen, and many people I've talked to about this also, I have never seen such a poor defensive strategy in a late game while you have the lead in my life. In my entire life, I've never seen.
Are you talking about late in like the last drive in the fourth quarter?
I'm talking about the 2 last offensive drives for the Chiefs. The last drive in the fourth quarter when they're down 3, and the last drive in the overtime when they're down 3. They did the exact same thing both drives in a row. Little 5-yard dump pass, 5-yard dump pass, 5-yard dump pass, and just move the ball down the entire field like that.
I don't know I think maybe the rationale behind that is like, don't let Mahomes beat you in one play.
But
like,
that's
don't
the problem.
Go over the top
that's the problem. That's the problem. They were running like a blanket coverage, 15 yards off the ball, 20 yards off the ball to not get beat by a touchdown. But it's like, why do that now when you know you don't even want them to tie the game? You don't want this going to overtime. You want it done now. You want it over with now. Play defense like you've been playing the entire game.
Dude, I was so curious what was going to happen if the Chiefs had to kick a field goal there in overtime. It would have to go into double OT in the Super Bowl.
It would have kept going.
I was kind of thinking about this, and I was making a joke about it. Imagine if they ended in a tie. Like, imagine if the Super Bowl ended in a tie. Like, would there be like riots, like real riots on the street?
They wouldn't do it.
Like how soccer games end. There's a tie. Like, there's just 2 winners of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but the way soccer is, there's like aggregates and weird shit. I don't understand. But if it's a Super Bowl, they're not going to let it end.
They're like, tie. There's 2 winners this year. We got 2 winners, Chiefs and Niners.
But
there'll be riots on the street.
That defensive coordinator on the last drive of the fourth quarter let the Chiefs drive the entire field by doing little dump passes, just moving the ball, just like Brady-esque, just moving the ball 5 yards at a time, 5 yards at a time.
But that's what those guys make you look like. They make you look like a dumb fuck because they're just the greatest to ever do it.
But
those are the caliber of quarterbacks.
It's just so frustrating because the entire time I'm watching the game, literally saying what's going to happen, like I'm like Romo, saying exactly what's going to happen before it happens.
Yeah.
On the 4th down in OT, when Chiefs had 4th down, I was literally saying they are not going to pass this ball and risk an incomplete pass.
Are you talking about that 4th and 1 where Kelsey goes to the flat? It's a kind of a read option where you can throw the Kelsey or run it.
Yeah, but he was going to run that the entire time. I mean, Mahomes is going to run that ball.
I mean, that's probably a play that you would call, and it's probably you get it probably 9 out of 10 times is that same play call. It's
that's
beautiful
a genius
play call by
it's a
Andy
genius
Reid.
play call. But how do you not know Mahomes is getting the ball? How do you not know that?
Well, okay, to be fair, if that end goes up the field, he's going to hand the ball off. He's handing
to
the ball.
McKinnon?
Yeah, well, because it's a read option. You're reading the end.
Yeah, but
if the end crashes,
the reason
they
put McKinnon in is because they weren't going to hand that ball off.
It's a read option.
I know what the play is, but they were never going to risk giving that ball to McKinnon to get the first down. They were going to pull it the entire time, and it was either going to be Kelsey in the flat or it was going to be Mahomes to take it for a yard. It was inches. It was literally
I
inches.
think it's one of those plays where it's like Andy Reid understands the moment, and you have to think about the psyche of that defensive end to have like the discipline to stay and not like bite on that play fake or on the handoff. It's like, it's the Super Bowl, it's 4th and 1, it's overtime. That defensive end is trying to make the play of his life,
and
he's trying to
gonna bite.
He's trying to tackle him in the backfield.
He's gonna bite.
Yes,
because he already bit once.
Right, but like that defensive end really should have just stayed up the field. So then Mahomes would have to be like, oh fuck, if he really kept the ball, then he has to figure out how to get that ball around to Kelsey, because Mahomes is not getting around that defensive end for that 1 yard. He's tackling him in the backfield. So really, he would have to hand the ball off. Like, that's the correct play there. But the fact that he crashes, Andy Reid knows that. He knows the situation. He knows, like, the dynamics of that play. That defensive end is trying to make probably $10 million if he makes that tackle on that last play of the game.
I would guarantee you that when they call that play on that 4th down, it is not even in the draw up of handing that ball off to McKinnon. And if it was like that, if that was in the play, they would have kept Pacheco in.
Well, if you're gonna have that psyche, why not just put Mahomes on a boot out? Like, why even give him the chance to even hand the ball off there? Like, it's a triple option.
I don't even think he faked the handoff. I think he just started. I think he just went.
No, it was a read option.
No, I know, but I don't even think he really acted like he was going to give it to him. It looked like he went hike and just went and took it.
Well, because the end crashes immediately. Like, he just bites immediately, pulls the ball off, looks like he's going to throw to Kelsey, then just gets a yard. Or he got multiple yards on that
he
play.
got like 15 yards
but,
on that play.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for a better Super Bowl, a better, like, outcome. I mean, I didn't want the Chiefs to win, but it was a great game. It was a hell of a game to see a game go into overtime like that, and to see Kyle Shanahan
choke again,
lose in 2 Super Bowls in
3.
overtime. I know, but 2 in overtime?
Yeah, but in one of them he lost 28-3, and he was leading 28-3 with 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
I told John Paul this. I think Kyle Shanahan is the Dan Marino of head coaches. Just can never win the big game. He just can't win those games.
Yeah.
All-time great coach, just cannot win in the spotlight. So, I mean,
I think he
but yeah, you're definitely salty because you lost the bet, and I can't believe you went against him.
I'm happy for Mahomes. Like, I'd love for him to win 7-8 Super Bowls. Like, I'm not one of those people who hates the Chiefs because they always win. Like, I think him and Andy Reid are looking like they can be just as good as
Brady and Belichick.
Yeah, but the thing that Mahomes said himself is, I can't even be compared to Brady because he beat me. Like, I didn't beat him.
Beat him twice in the playoffs. But you know what? There's another
when
thing.
He was 40 years old.
Yeah, there's another thing also that he said when he won that Super Bowl is they're not done. I mean, they're not thinking like they're riding out of the spot like sunset. Like, they have probably, I mean, just thinking of Mahomes' career and Andy Reid still wanting to go back, they probably have an 8-year window of winning Super Bowls.
There's a lot of guys though that are need to be that are going into free agency. Chris Jones is a big one.
Yeah.
Snead.
No, I thought they signed Chris Jones.
No, he's going to free agent. They might have been.
What was that in the beginning of the year where he held out?
I don't know, but it said maybe for the year. It said he's going free agency, though.
Okay.
Snead and that other guy, McDuffie or whatever his name is, both of those guys who are both all-pro corners.
They're going to figure something out, but as long as you have Mahomes, you're going to have a chance, right?
Well, if you'd have said this year after they lost to the Green Bay and lost those close games, I would have been like, I don't think these guys are going to win a Super Bowl this year. That team, they haven't. Their receivers made mistakes every single game.
The reason why they lost those games in the regular season.
Love how they didn't play Kadarius Toney the entire
since week 15.
I know.
He still got a ring though. He still got a ring. He got 2 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, good for him.
But I think the most discouraging thing is for the NFL is that these last 2 Super Bowl wins by the Chiefs, they didn't have the team to do it. Really, if you looked at that roster, like top to bottom, they're probably maybe top 10, maybe outside of the top 10 when it comes to like talent on that team, outside of Mahomes. Like, it's a young defense. They don't have any real outside guys in the perimeter when it comes to receiver. You have a 34-year-old Travis Kelce as your number 1 target, and you don't really have a premier running back in the backfield. It's just Mahomes, Kelce, Andy Reid, and a phenomenal young defense. And they've won back-to-back with that team. So I don't really know where you go from there. Like, do the Chiefs just keep getting better? Are they now like in this mode of like, there's an intimidation factor when you play Kansas City now, where it's not like, okay, you might be way better like the Ravens going into that AFC Championship game, but it's just like you're now playing the new Brady. It's like it's going to take a lot more than just talent to beat this team. It's going to take a little bit of luck. It's going to take the right plays going your way. And you're going to have a better team. And you're probably going to have to be up in that game to beat them. Right? You're not coming back to beat Kansas City. Like that team, they have reached an echelon of like just dynasty mode now where I don't know. Like
they just went back to back
with a team that shouldn't have won. This is not like these last 2 year teams have not. They should have won the Super Bowl. They didn't have the best team this year. They didn't have the best team last year. So I don't know where you go.
Yeah, but when is the best team ever winning the Super Bowl? I mean, the Patriots.
The Patriots were they had those best teams.
Who was so great on the Patriots? Who was
I mean, which years are you talking? Are you talking about like the later dynasty years?
The Patriots never had it. It was just Brady.
They always had Gronk. They had Edelman.
But okay, Edelman.
Amendola was a stud.
Yeah, those guys are studs.
Those receivers
on
the Chiefs aren't even comparable to Edelman.
They're not guys. But when I'm.
And then you have an all-time great coach like Belichick, who's a defensive-minded guy.
What I'm saying is, you're thinking like right now, like teams that look like they should have won the Super Bowl, like a team like the Niners, who are just so stacked.
Yeah.
The Patriots Super Bowl teams never looked like they were that stacked, especially at the time. People saying, "Yeah, now Edelman's so great, Amendola was great." People say Wes Welker was always great, but
Welker was great, but they never won a Super Bowl with him.
But Wes Welker's, I think, is way better than Edelman or Amendola.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are
Dude,
you fucking serious right now?
You
think Welker's
it's
better? It's
hindsight bias with people like you.
I know, but you think Edelman is worse than Welker? Like, okay, Wes Welker, all-time great. He did unbelievable in Denver with Manning.
But I'm not talking about Wes Welker with Manning. I'm talking about him when he was with the Patriots.
No, I know. He had a great career. Wes Welker is a great player, but better than Edelman?
Yeah. Edelman would say the same thing.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Edelman
there's a reason
Amendola
why they
would
didn't
say the
sign.
same
There's a reason why Welker didn't sign. There's a reason why he went to Denver is because he lost his job to Edelman.
Dude, he did not lose his job.
That's the reason why he left. That's the reason why the Patriots didn't sign him back. They didn't bring him back.
They knew he was going to retire. There's no point of signing him to another contract when they have a younger guy like
I know,
Edelman
but you know
who's cheaper.
You know you got a guy like Wes Welker. You know he's got 2 good more years, which he did. He followed after he left the Patriots. He played 2 great years with the Broncos, went to the Super Bowl with Denver. I don't know if he was on that championship team with Denver, but that first year when they played Seattle in the Super Bowl, that was a great year by Wes Welker, and I think the following year was another great year. So you know you had a guy like that on your team, but you knew you had somebody that was backing him up like Edelman. Who was better. Who was cheaper and better, probably. I mean, this is probably like the Sabonis AD argument that we were talking about that we posted on TikTok a while ago. Like, Sabonis is younger and Sabonis is cheaper. Who would you take right now?
People just forget about who Wes Welker. You just don't.
No, Wes Welker's a stud. I do remember Wes Welker. Yeah, he's a stud. Guy who had 120 catches one year, right? But I guess hindsight is 20/20.
Dude, I think Edelman's amazing. I think
Edelman's a stud.
Amazing.
He's a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl MVP.
He's just not. Wes Welker's just better.
Better in like what way? Like, are you just saying like just route running, his catching ability? Like, what's he better at?
He was just a better receiver than Edelman.
Like, in what way?
In being a receiver and catching the ball and running routes and getting in spots. He's a better receiver.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely like kind of the same guy.
Yeah, they're very similar, but Welker's better at it.
I guess, and it sucks for a guy like that because it's like you're defined by what happens in the Super Bowl. It's hard to get off that play that Welker had when they played the Giants in 2012, where he had that drop in the fourth quarter that would have like continued the drive for the Patriots, and where it was like that infamous Giselle interview after the Super Bowl where he's like, "My husband can't catch the ball either." Like, that is what Welker's known for in his career with the Patriots, is never winning, dropping that ball in the fourth quarter to play the Giants in the Super Bowl. Like, that is what he's known for.
That's not what I know him for.
But that's what happened. Like, if you asked anybody, like, why didn't they win a Super Bowl in 2012?
I think if you'd ask
that play.
I think if you'd ask people why the Giants won the Super Bowl in 2012 is because of that insane fourth down helmet catch.
That was David Tyree in 2007. No, but there was a great catch in 2012 too. It was the Mario Manningham play down the sideline.
Yeah, that might be the catch.
That was a great play too. But yeah, the 2007 David Tyree, whatever. 2 great players. But it also helps to win championships, which Edelman did. But there's not even anybody on the Chiefs that could be even close to Edelman. Like, I mean, who would you say? Who was a receiver this year that was like any good? Like Valdez Scantling? Sky Moore didn't even play.
Dude, I think if it's easy to say this now after Edelman's retired, but if we're talking about a 2015, 2014 Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
And I don't even think Edelman, if he was on any other team than the Patriots, he would have not been. He might have not even been in the league.
You really think so?
Yes, he says the same thing.
I mean, he's gonna say that because he loves Brady. He's a big Brady guy.
It's not even just that. That team, Belichick found a way to use him. A lot of teams can't find a way to use a guy like that.
But there's an argument for like David Hogan, who was a lacrosse player, who was on those Super Bowl championship teams for the Patriots. There's a guy like Danny Amendola, who was like a journeyman. But like Edelman was the best guy out of that group. So you could make a case that, like, okay, Edelman was successful other places. Like, Edelman had big contracts.
It's so easy to say this after the fact.
No, I mean Amendola.
I'm
sorry.
Easy.
Amendola he was successful other places.
Amendola was great.
Yeah, no, he was great. And even that year Edelman was hurt that last year with Cam Newton, but, like, he was the best guy on that team. He had led the team in yards. Like, he was going to be successful anywhere. He probably wasn't going to win Super Bowls without Tom Brady because at the end of the day, it's like
nobody is.
If you don't have Tom Brady, if you don't have Patrick Mahomes, you have to be really lucky to win a Super Bowl because it's a quarterback-driven league. You need the best guy in the league to win Super Bowls, to win those games. And it's like, where's Travis Kelce without Patrick Mahomes? Where's Rob Gronkowski without Tom Brady? It's like you need these quarterbacks to really, like, elevate you. And so I guess where you go into that argument with, like, Wes Welker and Edelman, it's like one guy won 3 Super Bowls and the other guy didn't win a Super Bowl. He went to 2 but didn't win.
I get this, but this is the thing. We're not talking about who won more Super Bowls.
I know, but it's definitely something.
But
it's a part of the argument.
You always go to that. No, it's not.
It has to be.
It's not.
It has to be. Because it's like Edelman was the Super Bowl MVP. He did against the Rams. He was the reason why they won. He was a big part of that reason.
Okay, but just because a guy's won more Super Bowls than another guy does not mean he is better than him.
Sure, but it's a big case for it.
No, it's not.
What would you would say Super Bowls and, like, winning championships is what?
Especially for a receiver.
As a receiver?
It's
okay, I
so
guess
we can
if you want no, okay. Fair. Okay, you can bring up, like, okay, Randy Moss didn't win a Super Bowl. Is he better than Edelman? Yes. But Wes Welker and Edelman are basically the same guy. Like, the same playing style. The same way they were used on the Patriots, they were used the same way. And so if you're going to look at that and you're going to look at the stats, Edelman probably has better stats on the Patriots if you're looking at all-time records, not maybe single season. Okay, sure. But then if you look at the Super Bowl and postseason success, Edelman beats him by a mile. So that's where I say Edelman's by far better than Wes Welker. But I don't know. I mean, you can have a case for Wes Welker, I'm sure, because Wes Welker was a great player. I'm just looking at Super Bowls to kind of put him over the top of that.
Okay.
So I don't know. But sure. But the Patriots, Chiefs, those dynasties are definitely started by the quarterback and being the all-time greats. Like, that is 1 and 2. In any order. I don't know. I'm a Brady guy. I think Brady's the best. I don't know.
He is.
Yeah, he's the best. And then Mahomes he's past Montana. In my opinion. Yeah, he passed Montana.
I think a lot. I don't know why people think Joe Montana's so
because
great.
he won 4. He won 4. He's the Brady before Brady.
Yeah, but that guy's not even.
Would you put Manning?
Joe Montana? I think Manning's better than him.
Okay, he passed Manning then.
As a quarterback, like, I get that he's won more Super Bowls than Manning, but Peyton Manning is a way. If Peyton Manning was on that Niners team, he'd have 4 too.
Okay, so where would you put? Okay, so.
Like, I think if Joe Montana was on the Patriots all the years Brady was on the Patriots, he wouldn't have 7 Super Bowls.
Probably not. But what would you think? Okay, so
I don't even think he'd have 2.
So would you make the case that Dan Marino's better than Montana? Would you make the case that Elway was better than Montana?
I don't know. I never watched either of those guys play. I couldn't tell you.
But all-time greats. But just guys that, like, they're not in that conversation because they didn't win the Super Bowls. But
Dude,
then
to be honest, I've never watched him play. I don't even know if Dan Marino would start right now in the NFL. Like, I don't know. I've never watched him play.
I don't know. I mean, you see a guy like Case Keenum
these guys
playing.
are way better athletes now.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that was a great Super Bowl. All-time great.
Yeah, it was. But it's just that the defensive coordinator and Kyle Shanahan should be fired.
You know that DC for the Chiefs,
Do you fire Shanahan?
No.
You don't fire him?
You can't. You go to the Super Bowl with Shanahan.
That's what I said. I said
mad.
It's hard to fire a guy when you go to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, when you're an NFC Championship conference bid every year, you can't get rid of a guy.
Okay, but think of this. You could throw almost any coach in the entire 32 teams of the NFL in on that team, and it's a pretty good chance they're making it that far too.
I don't know as consistent, though. Maybe you can have a year. Maybe you can have like a Lions year where you win 2 playoff games. But it's like to do it for the last 5 years and being
No,
pretty
I get that.
consistent
I get it. But it's
with different quarterbacks
but
too.
it's this another. You can't almost win the Super Bowl.
I think if you have to look at like where did the Niners go wrong, it's maybe the situation where it's like when Brady was available, when he left the Patriots, why don't you get him? Why don't you go after him? Because you have Garoppolo. That decision, and then again, even with like when Aaron Rodgers is in the market of like, hey, why don't we swing for the fences for a guy like that? Because those are the type of quarterbacks that get you to those situations and win the game.
Well, I don't think Purdy did anything.
He didn't do
wrong.
anything
I mean,
wrong.
Did he even have? I don't even think he had an interception.
He didn't throw a
in the game.
pick. But he didn't win the game. He didn't like make any
I get that,
spectacular
but
plays.
okay. You could also argue that missed
I'm a Brock
PAT,
Purdy guy.
Yeah, so am I. That missed PAT was a big deal, but also
The muff punt.
I would say but even that missed PAT, even if they do miss that and say the game plays out the same exact way it happens and the Chiefs have the ball on the 10-yard line with 10 seconds to go in the game, and instead of if they were down by 4, kicking the field goal is not an option. I mean, I think they're winning that game. I think they're winning the game right there.
Stuff happens.
Yeah,
Stuff
I think
happens like that in those
if they were
games.
down 4 in the fourth quarter with 10 seconds left in the same position they were, I think they're scoring a touchdown.
But you know what? There was my brother said this too when we were watching the game. It's like, watch. Like that was when they were in the red zone. They were inside the 10, and he was like, watch. The fact that they're only down by 3, they're not going to be aggressive to score a touchdown here because they know they have the points already to tie the game up. So if they were down by 4 and you have Mahomes,
they're scoring.
you know they're going to score.
Yeah, they're scoring.
Right. So it's just a different situation of how those guys play the game in that way.
Like I think honestly, Mahomes is scoring that 75% of the time.
He's probably going to score. If you're down by 4 and they have to score there,
and he has 2 plays left. Two plays with 10 seconds. He's gonna get one away quick, and then he's gonna figure it out.
But that's what separates a guy like Mahomes and Purdy. Like Purdy did not lose that game at all. Purdy played a good game, a clean game.
Yeah, like McCaffrey fumbling in the red zone, the muffed punt.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of things went wrong for them.
But you could also say it's like when you're in overtime and you're on the 10, you probably score if you have Tom Brady. If you make if you swing for the fences. Well, go for an Aaron Rodgers.
That still wasn't even Purdy's fault. That
I know,
was
it's a clean rush. Yeah.
That was a blown. Chris Jones said, I think that was a blown pass blocking.
But
he said, I wasn't even touched.
But even in the fourth quarter, too, when they kicked that field goal to go up by 3, it's like, if you get that first down, if that guy doesn't come clean, right? If you instead of having a 5-man pro, you keep a guy in the box, you clean up your pass protection, you're a veteran, know how to manage this. You know Steve Spagnuolo, the DC for the Chiefs, he's going to bring pressure. That's what he does. That's what he was doing all game. Make Brock Purdy beat us. If you got a guy in the backfield like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, maybe they see that moment. Maybe they understand the moment better, and maybe they put themselves in a better situation to get that third down so then the Chiefs don't have a chance to come back. So maybe that's a reason, like if you're a Niners, like maybe if you're looking back, like where do we go wrong at constructing this roster? It's swinging for the fences of like getting a quarterback to put us over the top like that, getting more points at the end, getting touchdowns, converting third downs. Because it's the little things that win Super Bowls.
They could have. Well, the thing is, if they do sign a guy like Rodgers or a big quarterback, a lot of guys that they have on that team aren't there right now. Then
right,
and they very well could have won that. Very well could have won that Super. They lost the Super Bowl. They had it won. They lost it. And I think where they went wrong, where they really went wrong in that Super Bowl, is coming out of halftime and going away from what they'd been doing the entire game. They didn't get a first down the entire third quarter until there were 2 minutes left in the third quarter because they stopped running the ball on first and second down. Mm-hmm. When you stop doing what's been working, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Everybody says that. And then right when they started getting back to running the ball on first and second down is when they started moving the ball again.
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs had 13 unanswered points. You can't have that happen in the Super Bowl, especially when you have a 10-3 lead going into the half.
That's another crazy stat.
What?
Every Super Bowl that Mahomes has been in, he's been down by 10 points or more.
Yeah, and that's another crazy. You want to hear another crazy stat? Kyle Shanahan has been outscored, I think, 25-73 in the second half and overtime in Super Bowls.
Well, yeah, because that was. Are you going to count the 28-3 game?
Yeah, that's counted.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, he's been outscored that much. That's how bad of it is. That's how much he chokes. He comes out hot and then chokes every time.
And then even in the first Super Bowl, the
Yeah,
Niners
they
played,
were
it was
winning.
20-10, and you end up losing 31-20
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you give up 21 unanswered points. But in all of those games, the only thing that you can look at is who had the better quarterback. You're going against Tom Brady. You're going against Mahomes twice. You have Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Ryan, who was an MVP that year. Whatever, that's a wash. Whatever, great year.
Dude, I wouldn't say
Jimmy
it's so much
Garoppolo,
on the
Brock
quarterbacks
Purdy.
either of those years.
But I could also say it's those quarterbacks that make those plays at the end, like that 4th and 1 that Mahomes makes, where he runs the ball. Where he runs the ball for 20. He runs the ball for 15. He's making those big third down throws that maybe
Yeah, I
Purdy
don't
or
disagree
Garoppolo
with
don't make.
you. I don't disagree, but I also don't agree that a great quarterback, like if Aaron Rodgers was on that Niners team, I just don't see how you beat Mahomes.
I know. I don't know either. But it's like, I don't know either. I don't know. You're just speculating at this point.
You're literally putting it in his hands. Both times he's down, he has to score right now. He has to score, and he gets it done every single time.
And there's an argument too. It's like when Jordan in the 90s, like
he is like Jordan.
Yeah, it's like how many more guys would have won championships if Jordan was just never around? Like, how does Charles Barkley win a championship? Does Clyde Drexler win championships? And nobody even, like, people know Charles Barkley because it's in the media.
Does Karl Malone
win a championship?
Yes.
Like, these guys are afterthoughts now because Jordan was in that era. Like, if you're in the Michael Jordan
Karl
era.
Malone got screwed.
Well, yeah, you go against Jordan twice.
Yeah.
Like, that just shit happens. So, and then maybe you get lucky if you're Elijah Wan because Jordan decided to play baseball for 3 years. That's when they went back to back.
I don't know. That Rockets team still could have. That Rockets team would have gave them a run for their money, though, I think.
Yeah, but like they won it when Jordan was playing baseball.
Yeah.
Like that's just what happens when you play in these eras. And now you're in the Pat Mahomes era. It's like, I'm sorry, Shanahan. Like it just sucks to be you. Like you're an all-time great coach. You just can't beat Mahomes.
I think this year could have went a lot differently though if Burrow stayed healthy.
For sure.
Because I think him in the playoffs too is
only guy that beat outside of Brady. Only guy that beat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can definitely get it done in the playoffs. I don't think Lamar's ever gonna get it done in the playoffs.
Especially if Mahomes is in the same AFC as
I think Lamar's losing to Josh Allen in the playoffs. I think Lamar's losing to Burrow in the playoffs. I think he's losing to Mahomes in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're probably not the first seed if Burrow's healthy, too. That's another thing. They're in the same division.
The Ravens?
Yeah,
no,
Ravens
this year,
and Cincy.
but the Burrow wasn't that.
Burrow didn't start off hot,
Yeah,
but like they had a chance.
Oh yeah,
they were only like 3 games out at the end.
Yeah, but the Ravens had such a good record this year. They weren't getting the first
They were good.
seed.
And also Burrow was coming off of like a calf strain too early in the year, so he had 2 major injuries.
Yeah,
that like kind of derailed the season for them.
Yeah, I'm interested next season to watch how the Bengals do.
I still want to see what the Rodgers and Jets can do. If Rodgers can get the Jets, good. If they can win their division, like I want to see what that team looks like if he's healthy, because they still got a young defense.
Yeah, they've got a solid. People at the beginning of the year were saying they have one of the best defenses.
And like Nathaniel Hackett gets a lot of shit for just being a shitty OC, but it's like he made Aaron Rodgers a 2-time MVP in Green Bay. They went to the NFC Championship with him. Like he's a Rodgers guy, and if Rodgers likes you, he's gonna ride with you, and he's gonna have guys around him that he likes, like Mercedes Lewis, like Cobb, Randall Cobb, right? Alan Lazard, like guys without Aaron Rodgers, they're afterthoughts. But with Aaron Rodgers, they're Aaron Rodgers guys, they're gonna mesh better.
Alan Lazard's pretty solid though.
He's solid. He's probably the best guy out of those dudes that they brought from Green Bay.
Yeah.
But it's like, did he do anything this year? No, because they didn't win games. And it's like Zach Wilson's not gonna make Alan Lazard look any relevant, right? It's only with Aaron Rodgers. So I want to see what that looks like. I hope they're better for the sanity of Jets fans. I want to see the Jets better.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't think they're going to be able to win a Super Bowl with Rodgers.
No, but I like to see him win a playoff game.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It'd be fun to see a New York team. I like they win the Giants were in the playoffs last year and they won a playoff game. Like any of those big market teams. Like I'm excited when New York teams are good. I like that. I mean, call me a home runner, whatever. Like a front runner. I like it when New York teams are good, and I want to see Aaron Rodgers do that with the Jets, and I'm curious to see if he can.
Yes, me too, because he's getting old, man. He's starting to get old, and I don't know. I just don't know if he can get it done, especially with these guys now in the NFL. This new era of guys and this new generation is starting to really make a foothold in these guys are just getting better and better.
He's the last
CJ Stroud. I mean,
stud.
Jesus, this guy now. That was just his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he's on the Texans.
Yeah.
I mean, what if he in 3 years is on a team like?
They're going to get better.
Yeah, the Texans are going to get better. They have a solid coach. They just need they need a couple more things. That defense needs help.
And they'll figure it out too, because you got D'Amico Ryans, you got Will Anderson Jr. Like, they got young guys to keep growing with.
I couldn't believe that Will Anderson won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Who should have won it?
Jalen Carter.
Oh, did he? I didn't really follow him that well. I know
There was a guy who had a $5 parlay to win like $500,000, and he had Lamar. He made this before the season started. Lamar to win MVP, Christian McCaffrey Offensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Who was Defensive Player of the Year?
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, he was.
Or was it no?
No, he was.
No, it was Garrett. Yeah, it was Garrett because
Miles Garrett.
It was like, how did he?
But
win?
it was because it was supposed to be somebody else. It wasn't supposed to be Parsons though. It was supposed to be T.J. Watt.
T.J. Watt.
Yeah, it was supposed to be T.J. Watt. Miles Garrett. He had Jalen Carter instead of Will Anderson, and he had C.J. Stroud, and everything had won except that Will Anderson one.
He would have won 500.
And he was supposed to. He thought he was going to get snubbed on the Miles Garrett for T.J. Watt.
Yeah.
He thought Jalen Carter was a lock. Everybody thought Carter was a lock, and he got snubbed on that one. That's rough.
Would you rather be that guy, or would you just rather get everything wrong?
I'd rather get everything wrong or just like one or two things right.
Instead of just getting almost everything right and then getting
because then
snubbed at the end.
or even just getting two wrong.
Yeah,
when you just get one wrong on something like that, it hurts.
$500,000. Like, you're a different man if that pick's right.
Yeah.
You're a different man.
Because if you lose like 2 or 3 of them out of 5, you're like, I would have never had a chance anyways.
Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers is definitely like that last quarterback from our childhood.
Oh, yeah.
He's the last guy.
Yeah, I can't even think of anybody else.
They're all gone. I mean, maybe Joe Flacco this year, but Joe Flacco's
I don't even count him.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is the last like elite quarterback from that era.
Yeah, that's
to
crazy.
still be around.
That's crazy.
So, what did you? He was just on Rogan, and obviously you know what he's doing, right? You know, we've talked about it before. On what he's coming on McAfee and the stuff he's talking about. I mean, did you listen to that interview with him?
With who?
The one when he went on Rogan.
Yeah, I've watched some of it.
I mean, I don't know. Okay, like, I think he thinks he's doing the right thing, but like, how does this help him and the Jets be successful? I don't think it helps, right? It only brings
him going on a Rogan?
Yeah, going on the Rogan thing, attacking like the big pharma, attacking like what happened in COVID and the policies that were handled and how it were handled, how it was forced. I think he's trying to be a good citizen. Like, I don't really know if he has an angle of like making any money off of this. Like, I think he's just a guy who's like just done his own research and he's just pointing out bullshit, right? I think that's just all he's thinking here. But it's like, is it going to help the Jets be any better? Like, I mean, he is coming off an Achilles tear. He is 40 years old. It's like, you want to see the Jets do well.
I honestly don't think he even has the Jets in his mind when he's going on to these podcasts. Like, what the hell?
He's just being his own person.
Yeah, what the hell? What does he have to give to the Jets on the offseason? He's hurt. What
I know.
Does he have to give to them? What are they going to be giving to him in 20 years?
Like, nothing.
Exactly. It's like, he doesn't.
But he's trying to prove something.
Smart.
I know. He's just really smart guy, and I don't like the notion that he's dumb. I think he's really smart.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't even think he ever even thinks of it as him going onto these shows and it's hurting the Jets or not helping. I mean, he could give a shit.
Yeah. But it's like he is trying to still prove something for his legacy.
Like, he'd love to win another. I think it'd be
great
if he could win a Super Bowl this year. I just don't think the Jets is the team to do it.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, that's a cursed franchise. But if he's trying to do the Brady model, if he can go win a championship with the Jets, and it's like, okay, is Aaron Rodgers better than Peyton Manning? And it's like, you can have that argument. If they do it with the Jets, I think probably he is better. But I mean, you can even we're talking about championships here. If they even matter, it's like, is he better than Joe Montana if he gets it done with the Jets?
I think Rodgers is better than Joe Montana already
as a natural thrower, but his legacy
as a quarterback.
Yeah, as a quarterback, but as like a winning, like at the winning side of it. Like, if he did win one for the Jets and be the first time to win it since Namath, he's in that conversation now. He is in that argument. He is in that threshold of quarterbacks to win.
I think if you were to make a Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks right now, Brady and Mahomes are 1 and 2.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
Island of their own.
I honestly think
Manning.
I think I don't even see Montana on that.
You have to put Montana. You have to.
I just don't even
Montana.
say. I don't see it.
How? Because you just don't.
Because I think Rodgers and Manning are better than him.
But okay, they can be like there can be 4 guys in there. Like it can be like Elway, Montana, Manning, and probably Rodgers.
What are you saying?
Like I'm saying, like there's tiers. Like I think obviously Brady, Mahomes.
Yeah, I think.
And then the next tier below is probably those 4 guys.
I just say a Mount Rushmore is just a top 4 of all time.
Oh, top 4. Okay, so you would say Mahomes, Brady, Rodgers.
No, Brady 1, Mahomes 2, probably Peyton 3, Rodgers 4.
Okay.
And I'd say
that
the
could be a
same.
generational
I would say
thing.
the same thing even if Rodgers were say he wins the Super Bowl this season with the Jets this next upcoming season. I'd still have it in the same order. I still think Peyton's better than him.
But even if he did win with the Jets,
even if he does win,
I would flip that. I would flip that because I think just winning with the Jets is insane.
Well,
it's a cursed franchise.
What about Peyton won with the Broncos?
Yeah, but the Broncos have won before. Like that's a good organization. Like the Jets are
Yeah,
it's like winning as with the Bears.
I bet you if you looked at the Broncos team when they won the Super Bowl against the Panthers, and you look at the Jets team now, I bet you'd probably say the Jets team looks better
Than the Broncos team?
Yeah.
Like what do you mean the Broncos team
Like
that won the Super
they had
Bowl?
Von Miller.
Okay,
but the Jets have Quinnen Williams.
DeMarcus Ware was a dog on that
DeMarcus
team.
Ware was old.
Aqib Talib, stud.
Old. Oh no, Aqib's cool.
Aqib was good because he played.
Yeah,
for
he
the
wasn't
Rams
that
later.
old. Yeah.
They had that Ward guy. That safety was a stud.
I don't know, but they had Demaryius Thomas on offense, beast. They had Eric Decker, I think.
Eric
beast.
Decker,
That was when he was a beast.
Was that wasn't Noshawn Moreno? Noshawn was gone by then.
No, their running back was nothing special.
Yeah, it was like C.J. Anderson.
It
something
was
like
nobody
that.
special.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you were to look at that team, you wouldn't think it's that much better than the Jets are. Especially the Jets' defense looks amazing. They have a great defense.
Yeah, they got C.J. Mosley, Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, in their offense, they've got guys that Breece Hall, beast.
Breece Hall, yeah, he was coming off an injury last year.
They've got Garrett Wilson, beast.
Stud.
Alan Lazard's very solid.
You got some good. I think their offensive line is weak. It's probably it's a weak point.
I mean, if I was looking at the Broncos 2012 or whatever 2014 offensive line, I wouldn't know one guy's name either.
I think they had Manny Ramirez. He was good.
Dude, I don't know.
They had Ryan Clady. He was like stud left tackle.
Never heard of any of these guys.
Ryan Clady was like a 95 overall in Madden. He was one of those guys.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the Jets and the Broncos team is not that drastically different in terms of talent.
Okay, maybe.
So what I'm saying is, if like Rodgers were to win this year with the Jets, I get like you're saying it's a cursed franchise and stuff, but I'm just saying as talent on the team, you don't even think of what the team name is, just that team in that team.
Yeah.
Peyton winning when he did and Rodgers winning. I just think Peyton has a better career overall than Rodgers too.
Okay.
Like even if Rodgers were to win this year, Peyton is still better than him.
So I know and this is like a Colin Cowherd thing where it's like blank resumes and like what you look at the stats without like putting any like thought, like you don't have a presupposition to like what these players are going into like the stats and like what their I guess totality was in their careers.
And that's the best.
But I think that does make a difference though, because I think when you do play a Mahomes and you see that you're playing a Mahomes on that side of the field, I think there is a factor of like it's harder to beat him because it is Patrick Mahomes, not just because it's just how good he is.
So then does that take away from...
I think there's an intimidation thing. I think there is a thing where when it comes to like what a franchise is too.
So then does that take away from Mahomes winning these Super Bowls now because he's not facing a guy like him?
Wait, facing a guy like who?
Because you're saying like...
No, I'm saying like it's Patrick Mahomes because it's harder to beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you're saying
just
it's hard to beat
him.
But so does that mean it's easier for Mahomes just because it's him? Like you're taking away that he's not doing anything that special because he's not beating guys that are just as good as him?
No. I'm saying he's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
like,
I get
I'm
that.
Saying it's just
I
hard
get
to beat
that.
him.
But
I'm not discrediting anything he's
doing. I don't think just because there's a guy like Mahomes that you have to beat.
No, but I think when you are comparing like the Broncos to the Jets and you just like blank that and you like just show the roster, well, it's like who's in their division? Who are they playing? Are they historically shitty? Are they in colder weathers? Like I think those factors also play a role into like the outcome of their seasons. Like I mean, you do have to go through the Bills.
Denver's just as cold as New York.
No, I know, but I mean also like divisions, right? Like you do have to play the Bills. You do have to play like Mike McDaniels in Miami. But like if you're the Broncos, this is before Mahomes, right? The Chiefs were like an Alex Smith, like gimmicky, right? Like Chargers, Phillip Rivers. You're not going to do anything. And then also the Raiders, which have just been dog shit for the last 20 years. So it's like if Rodgers was able to beat like a guy like Josh Allen, like a quarterback of that level, of that degree, of like a new generation quarterback who's taking the face of the league, and to beat him in his prime, and then also to go beat Tua and Tyreek and Mike McDaniels and the new style of offenses as the old school quarterback is a greater kind of tell of it, because Aaron Rodgers would probably have to be an MVP level quarterback to win a championship, where Peyton Manning won that Super Bowl throwing 9 touchdowns to 17 interceptions, and Brock Osweiler playing a good majority of that season as well, and then just getting a win at the end. So I don't know. I think maybe that would play a bigger part of their legacy, and that's where I would probably notch Aaron Rodgers being better than Peyton Manning. But I don't know, like MVPs, they have the same like career stats, totals, right? Like they're great regular season quarterbacks.
I don't know. I think Manning probably has more wins than Rodgers does.
What do you mean, like all time?
Assume, yeah.
It's probably close. It probably is. It's probably
I don't
as
know.
close.
I'm just assuming, yeah.
I think they both have 2 bad season-ending injuries. I think Manning had the neck thing. Now Rodgers has the Achilles. But then, yeah, I think it is Peyton Manning, because then Rodgers didn't really play the first 4 years because he was backing Brett Favre, and then Manning played immediately.
For wins, you're saying?
Yeah, like I think he probably would have more wins.
Well, I would even say, even if you count same games played, if you were to take that out, I'd still say Manning probably is more winning than he is.
Okay.
I mean, Manning was always the whole time at the Colts. They were always the 1 or 2 seed in the playoffs, like every single time.
And yeah, and he's just one of those guys that
they're
was
getting 11, 12 wins a year.
Yeah, and he was just one of those guys that was a victim of being in the Brady era. Like he always lost to Brady in the playoffs. Like that's what he's known for.
But I don't even think I think if Brady wasn't around during Manning's time, I'd still say he probably has 1 or 2 Super Bowls.
You don't think Manning wins more than just 2 if Brady's not in that era?
2's a lot of Super Bowls as a quarterback.
No, I know, but he lost a lot of those playoff. Like when they were the 1 seed, like when they were like they should have won the Super Bowl. Like they were the favorites, but they lost to Brady in some those years. So if Brady wasn't involved,
he's lost Super Bowls that Brady wasn't in. He never played Brady in a Super Bowl.
No, because they were in the same conference.
Yeah, didn't he lose? That's what I'm saying. Though.
They lost to Breeze. He lost to Breeze.
He lost to Drew Brees.
And then that 13 year, they lost to the Seattle Legion of Boom team, where Manning threw 55 touchdowns.
Exactly.
Yeah. There was those years, but like I'm talking about those years with the Colts.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't think he has.
He probably goes to the Super Bowl more.
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say, but it's like if Brady wasn't in the mix.
People discredit how impressive, like getting as a quarterback, getting 1 Super Bowl is really cool. Like it's awesome. It's huge for your legacy. But getting 2 Super Bowls is, I think, getting your next Super Bowl, like your second Super Bowl, is the hardest one.
What do you think about like a career like Eli Manning?
See, that's it's because he has 2 Super Bowls.
And beat Brady.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Would you discredit his career? Like, do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
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 I'd probably say so too. Just because you got to win 2.
People, if he retired when he should have retired and didn't try to prolong his career when he was total shit, people would have a way different outlook on him.
Like if you retire in 2014.
Yeah, like if he doesn't keep trying to play and gets benched and stuff and has all that whole stigma around him now, I think people have a way different look on Eli Manning. People just forget how good guys were when they were good.
But do you think if Peyton Manning doesn't win that Super Bowl and somehow Cam Newton wins that Super Bowl, you only remember Peyton Manning being probably really bad? Like it's almost like a Wizards Jordan look.
Peyton Manning?
Like Peyton Manning was really bad his last year, but he won the Super Bowl because it was like
I still
really great defense.
I'd still say he's better than Eli.
Yeah. But it was always like, no, for sure he was always better than Eli, but it was always like the common like trope to be like, Eli has more Super Bowls.
Well, I wouldn't doubt. I mean, if he did have his last year was a really bad year, even if he doesn't win that Super Bowl, I'd still say he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time.
Absolutely. But it only like puts a cherry on top of like him riding into the
that's
sunset,
all it is a
winning
cherry
Super
on
Bowl.
top. That's all it is.
Yeah. But it's a different than like Brady winning one with Tampa because Brady was just elite doing that. He was elite.
Yeah.
It's just a different look.
Brady was also a lot older than Peyton was too.
Way older.
I think a team like the 2012 Ravens team is a team that when you look at it at first glance, nothing jumps off the page. I mean, yeah, Ray Lewis,
Ed Reed.
But that's defensive. Like it's not like
Terrell
nothing,
Suggs.
That's what I'm saying though. Nothing offensive jumps off the page at you.
Who do they? I remember Dennis Pitta.
They had like Jacoby Jones and like
Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, like
Ray
guys
Rice.
like that.
Ray Rice.
That was when Ray Rice was good. But
before
I
he
mean
punched
now,
her.
yeah, but Ray Rice. I mean,
he was good.
Hey, they're all good for their first. They're good for 4 years.
But he was a top 5 running back.
That was in his 4 years
before that happened.
But like that 2012,
and then Joe Flacco was historic.
That 2012 Ravens team is like a team that you wouldn't expect to win the Super Bowl. Is kind of what I'm saying at the start of the year.
Yeah, no, it is one of those rare situations where like a defensive-led team wins. It's not just like the quarterback as the main guy.
Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to get at with that, but it's just
it's a good thing to look back on.
Yeah,
like that.
A team like there's just not team. I guess you can't really say the Chiefs are like because Mahomes is always on that, but like I guess a team like maybe the Rams team when they won. I mean, who really jumps off the page on that team?
The Rams team with Stafford?
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper.
Odell.
Every team's got guys like that. Like there's guys.
No, wait. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Guys.
Like all-time great guys? Like
Aaron Donald? Had Aaron Donald.
Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey was on that team.
Yeah. 21? Yeah.
When they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey was on that team.
I didn't know he had a Super Bowl ring. Odell. And Odell's still. I don't.
They didn't have a running back. They didn't have a good running back. Matt Stafford.
But every team, if I were to say who's on this team, every team has 4 or 5 guys that jump off the page.
Mm-hmm.
But like a team, when you look at a team like the Niners this year, I mean 20.
We already named it. They had like 15 Pro Bowl guys in their career.
That's what I'm saying. 11 guys jump off the page on that Niners team, or even a team like who's another wait,
are we talking about like teams that have won the Super Bowl? But
who's a team this year who just has guys, like a team?
Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. Even last year's Eagles guys.
They just kind of they had a flat tire this year.
Like
the Ravens. They were pretty legit. Roquan Smith.
Yeah, but every team
Marlon
is
going
to have a guy on D. Yeah, Marlon Humphrey's really good.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, Mark Andrews. And no, they have a really good defense. Who's that number 14
Kyle
guy?
Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton.
Stud from Notre Dame.
Yeah, stud. They've got a good team. But
yeah. I mean, they were the best team, right? They were. That was Jean Paul. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I'm supposed to go to dinner with him, but whatever. He's fine.
Well,
he's probably at the house right now.
We can be done soon. I got to leave soon anyway.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, but every team, the Patriots years when they won, I just don't see
the first
Patriots
dynasty
years
was defensive led.
Yeah, but I just don't ever see. I've never seen the Patriots as such an amazing team, especially like Brady is the entire reason that team has ever won a championship.
You can say he's the vanguard of the team. Like he is the guy.
But okay, put a guy just as good as Brady and like a guy like
Manning?
Like Manning or Rodgers.
Do they win 6 Super Bowls, you're saying?
Do they win 6 Super Bowls with Rodgers?
No. It's hard to say they come back 28-3 against the Falcons. Like that only takes
I don't even think they win 3.
I think they do.
No.
I think they do. I think when it comes to football, it is the ultimate team. It is the ultimate team game.
I was going to say why didn't they do it after Brady? But Brady goes to the Buccaneers, a whole different team, and does it again. Like, dude,
right.
It goes to
why did he go to the Buccaneers? Like he strategically picked that location, not because
we wanted to move to Florida. Obviously,
I know, but like there's also like a reason into like the personnel of who was on that team already. Like that was a team with Jameis Winston, where Jameis Winston threw 5,000 yards, and they went 8-8. But at the same time, Jameis Winston, I think that season had 32 interceptions and probably had 40+ turnovers.
Yeah, but I just am saying, like, dude.
But like, who was on that offense?
Chris Godwin,
Mike Evans,
Chris Godwin,
Hall of Famers, or Mike Evans,
Leonard
at least.
Fournette, when he was good.
No, Leonard Fournette was signed when Brady was there. Like, those guys came. Like, he's a.
Oh, you're saying, but
there's
Leonard
a
Fournette
gravity
won
to
the
Tom
Super
Brady.
Bowl.
No, but like Leonard Fournette wasn't on the Bucs before Tom Brady. Like, Leonard Fournette signed when Tom Brady signed. Like,
who's
Gronk
that guy?
signed when Tom Brady signed.
LaShawn McCoy. He was on the Buccaneers when they won a Super Bowl. LaShawn McCoy, the guy who was with the Bills.
I don't remember LaShawn McCoy. I don't know, but
he was on the Bucs.
I don't think it was a major thing. Like, it was more Leonard Fournette.
No, I know. I'm just saying who was on that.
Oh,
team.
it was like Levante David,
Beast,
Vita Vea was on that team.
Alexander, Levante.
Quan
David,
Alexander was on that team. Shaquille Barrett, the edge
Shaq
rusher.
Barrett. Yeah.
Shaq Barrett.
They had
yeah.
really good. Yeah, they did have a really good defense.
And then Gronk signed, and there's just like they got Tristan
Gosh,
Wirth
who
that
else did
year.
they have?
Tristan
yeah,
Wirth,
he was really
but
good.
they as a rookie with Brady. Who's the safety? The safety who did the piece, like Tyreek. That guy was a stud.
I'm not sure. They
had
had
a plethora of young DBs.
Okay, I know. Why can't I remember that DB? He went to Florida, and I can't remember his name.
Murphy.
No, dude. Gosh, this is
Carlton
gonna piss
Davis.
Me off. No, dude. This is gonna piss me off now.
It wasn't Carlton Davis.
No, dude. Gosh, why can I not remember this guy's name?
No, but they had a bunch of guys. Like, there was a reason why Brady goes to Tampa. It's not like Brady going to the Lions.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find it.
It wasn't
AB. They had AB.
Yeah, they did. They did
Yeah.
have, but that was because that was after the fact Brady goes there. Like, he's the gravity. Like, people go to where Brady's playing.
Yeah, but they had AB. That's still when AB could ball.
But you could definitely, and that was a cool era of football too, because that was like almost like
I'm not gonna be able to find it.
That was like, most teams are assembled through the draft. Most teams are more like coach driven, where it's like more of a scheme type of thing. But when Brady went to the Buccaneers, that was more of like backyard football. Like, we're going to take you, we're going to pick you, and we're going to all just like assemble this all-star team around Tom Brady, because Tom Brady's so good. Like, not a lot of teams are assembled that way. Like, most teams are like, you win a Super
Oh,
Bowl.
I get it. Yeah, because you have a guy like Brady who's coming in, and
Like,
it's like, okay, let's do this for 1 year.
Like, we're going to have a Gronk for a year. We're going to have an Antonio Brown for a year. We're going to have Mike Evans.
It's a lot of 1-year contracts getting signed.
We're going to sign Leonard Fournette. We're going to sign like the best of the best guys, because we're going to put it together for like a 1 to 2 year window, and we're going to try and win as many Super Bowls. And they did win one.
Yeah, but
and kind of like in that way, like, it kind of just shows the greatness of Tom Brady, because he did beat.
it
Pat
does show
Mahomes.
100% how great Tom Brady is, and it shows how it's hard to say because of the reason we've brought all this up is because I said if Brady
I don't know why
wasn't
either. I think we're just going down memory
no
lane.
if Brady wasn't on the Patriots, and if a guy like Rodgers was on the Patriots, could Rodgers have won more than 2 Super Bowls, or a guy like Manning, if he's on that Patriots team, won more than 2 Super Bowls? And I think not. I think no. I think 2 is as much as they're getting with
I
that
don't think
Patriots team.
Well, no, that just I think Tampa only solidified why Tom was the greatest. But I think the way he started his career, like the way he was around Bill Belichick, the way Drew Bledsoe goes down, because it like in that first Super Bowl run, Bledsoe did win the AFC Championship game. He did win the AFC Championship game, and you can go look back at all those Brady documentaries in that first Super Bowl run. Drew Bledsoe did play kind of an intricate part of that, him going down, him coming back, him winning. But it was also like Bill Belichick's defense. Like those first 3 Super Bowls were, I mean, you couldn't, like, that defense was the leading catalyst as to why they won those Super Bowls. It wasn't like Tom Brady was like the top player on those 3 Super Bowl teams, but it was like, it kind of like, I guess, formulated after those 3 Super Bowls. It was like that 10-year gap where they didn't win the Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost Eli Manning. And that kind of like created Tom as the most, like, I mean, the most dominant, the most winningest, the greatest quarterback ever to play.
Okay, but you're not saying.
But it's like if Peyton Manning started off like that, if Peyton Manning started off with like Bill Belichick, all-time great defense, you're going to win those 3 Super Bowls, I think, with Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, like I think if you started off your career like that and you were able to be like, if you were able to like kind of have that confidence early on. Because Peyton Manning, first overall pick, you're
Then what
you're
if
going to go to the Colts. You're going to be on a shitty team first. Like I think Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his first year, but he made him better. But you just didn't have the pieces like Brady did when he first started off. And this is like such a rarity.
Well, he won another
compare
3
these.
after all that too.
No, I know. Yeah, because Tom's the greatest quarterback ever, and he proved that in Tampa. But I think like a guy like Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers would win like 3 Super Bowls if you were in a like 3 or 4. If you were in a situation like Tom, you could say that, but you're not going to win 7 because Tom Brady's.
Well,
I
take
guess,
those first
astronomically better.
Take those first 3 away from Tom. He still has 4.
No, I know.
So take those first three. Say Manning gets
yeah.
there after those first 3, or Rodgers gets there after those first 3. Do they win those other 3 that Brady has?
No, but they probably do win maybe 1 or 2, but they're not going to get the 7.
They get more. I think 1.
What do you mean?
Like 1.
They win 4?
They get 1.
Like in a 20-year span with Bill Belichick, they only win 1 more Super Bowl.
No,
They only win 1.
I'm saying
Tom?
after the first 3, when you're saying it's all defensive led, and you're saying you could basically throw any quarterback in at that point.
Yeah, they win like 4 Super Bowls like Montana.
Never, I don't know.
No, but they don't win
You're
7.
not
No, I'm just saying they're not Tom Brady. Like that's why Tom's the greatest because he did go to Tampa and he proved that.
Yeah, but I would have loved to see after Brady leaves Patriots that first year. I would have loved to see the Patriots get an all-time great quarterback like Rodgers or somebody like that,
like the
and
way
see where how far they take it
Mm-hmm.
without Brady, but with a great quarterback like that. I would have loved to see that.
And they probably could have signed Aaron Rodgers last offseason. The Patriots probably could have. And Bill probably would have had a job still.
Yeah, but
I mean, they had a chance to do that. They really had a chance to do that science experiment with, like, let's try Aaron Rodgers.
I just don't think
What?
I've always been a big Patriots fan, but it's only because of Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. But
like,
it's a big part of Bill, too.
I've never all the years I've been a fan of the Patriots, and I've known everybody on the team, and I'm a huge Tom Brady fan. Never one time on the start of any season did I think that they had such a amazing team. If you remove Tom from that team and you replace any quarterback in the league on that team, I don't think they're close to as good as they are.
Like, they don't win 6 Super Bowls. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sure.
Well, even if you put a guy like Peyton in, Peyton in, they're not even close to as good.
Yeah, they don't win 6, but are you like, I think those first 3 Super Bowl teams, does Peyton win 2? Does Peyton win 3?
Well, you're making it seem like you could throw anybody in on those first 3 Super Bowl teams to play quarterback.
I'm making it seem like those all-time great quarterbacks maybe could. I'm not saying anybody. I'm saying like Peyton Manning, like Aaron Rodgers, like probably the top 6 quarterbacks of all time maybe could win those Super Bowls. But then like the second dynasty, because Tom Brady had 2 dynasties, which is like unheard of. That second dynasty, do they win those Super Bowls? No, absolutely not.
Probably only one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what like separates Tom from the rest of those guys. But yeah, but I think if Peyton Manning had the same structured career of being on the Patriots, being signed with Belichick, being signed with that defense early on, do they win those Super Bowls? Maybe. Do they win only 2? Perhaps. But he wins those Super Bowls. He's going to win some. That second dynasty, if Peyton figures out how to stay that long, if he stays 20 years with Belichick in the same era, does he win 3? No, probably not. But he's probably going to end up winning 4 when it's all said and done because he is still Peyton Manning at the end of the day, and he is in the perfect situation with Belichick, with those players around him. Yeah, he's going to win 4 Super Bowls, but does he win 7? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but does Mahomes do that with Brady? I mean, that is why we're already comparing them together. That's why they're always going to be interlinked together because they are 1 and 2 probably when it's all said and done.
Mahomes could retire now, and he's the second best football player of all time.
I mean, at the age of 28, I don't think probably him and Brady at a football level have had the careers already.
If Mahomes wins 7 Super Bowls, is he better than Brady? I still say no.
If he wins 7, Jackson?
If he wins 7 Super Bowls.
That's a crazier...
I still don't say he's better than Brady.
But he's already 2?
Yeah.
So he's already like in this LeBron Jordan
I don't
argument.
I don't even
Right?
think because I think LeBron's better than Jordan.
No, but like a lot of people would always say like LeBron's 2, but he's never going to be Jordan.
Yeah, a lot
But
of
it's
people
almost
say
like
that.
you saying like Mahomes is 2, but he's never going to be Brady.
I'd have to say if he were to be the GOAT, Mahomes would have to.
Probably have to
It's
keep winning.
tough.
You just got to keep winning.
It's so tough
Like
to say.
like how long is
He would have to win another 2 with the Chiefs
yeah.
and then leave the Chiefs and go to another team, or Andy Reid leave or something like that, and he'd have to get like another 2 without Andy Reid and the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's going to have to win for 10 more years to be in that class.
But it's just so hard because he never beat Brady. Like they literally had the chance of playing each other and he never beat him.
0-2 in the playoffs against Tommy.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
just really tough. It's not like Braun ever played
Jordan
in the
Yeah.
playoffs and lost to him.
and Tommy Boy beat him twice.
Like it's also
Yeah.
if I were to say if
Yeah.
Mahomes never lost to Brady, if they never saw each other in the playoffs, or even if their record was 1-1.
Yeah. But then Brady won those Super Bowls.
But the
each
problem
time.
is that they're seeing each other in the Super Bowl.
No, Brady had to beat him each time to get to 7.
Yeah, so imagine where they just never met each other in the playoffs at all.
Okay.
A situation like that.
Tom wins 7 and never
Mahomes has 7 and they never met each other in the playoffs, then
you can give it to Mahomes.
I would probably give it to Mahomes as a better quarterback.
You can pass the baton because if he actually ends up playing that long, he's going to have better stats than him.
Yeah, and like as a quarterback, Mahomes is he's more athletic. It's inevitable.
But
Tom just has a different the Mamba fact. He has a factor about him.
Could
He's a
you
winner.
argue who throws a better football, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
Right now?
No. I'm just saying prime on prime. Who throws
2015 Rodgers and Brady.
Who throws a prettier spiral? Who can make harder throws? Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady.
Rodgers.
Okay. So now, yeah, I would agree with that. But now it's like
But who makes a better throw? Stafford or Rodgers?
Oh, that's hard.
Stafford.
I could make an argument that Stafford throws a prettier ball than Brady.
Stafford throws a prettier ball than anybody in the league.
Exactly. But now it's like arguing that with Aaron Rodgers winning 7 Super Bowls. Right? This is like the same thing with Mahomes because now Mahomes probably throws harder. Like the way Mahomes makes throws is unbelievably difficult.
It doesn't matter though.
Brady can't throw.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay.
So right?
Mahomes makes throws that Brady can't throw,
Mm-hmm.
but there's another guy who makes throws that Mahomes can't throw.
But Mahomes wins.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's the difference, right? It's the Rodgers versus Tom argument, but Rodgers decided to win Super Bowls, like the way Mahomes is winning right now. And so if Mahomes ever gets to 7, you would be the guy who would say Tom's better because Tom beat him in those 2 playoff runs. So I guess your overall conclusion would have to be
But it's not.
if Mahomes have to win 8.
The thing is, though, is when you're making the argument not because Mahomes can throw a better ball than Tom.
Yeah.
But Mahomes doesn't throw the best ball. He doesn't throw the best ball. So there's a guy who's better than Mahomes at throwing a ball.
Who?
I mean, if I were to just stay off the top of my head, probably Matt Stafford.
No, but I guess
he's not the best person to throw a ball, is what I'm saying.
No, but it's like the weird
just
because
he's better than Tom at throwing.
I believe that Pat Mahomes could throw a 3-yard okay.
Stafford's been doing the Mahomes throws since before Mahomes was even in college.
Okay. Let's imagine we're on a plane. You got a receiver running a 10-yard out from the slot. Who's going to throw a 3-step drop and a hitch to that receiver prettier? Brady, Rodgers, right? Now, rolling out to his left, the receiver is running it over to the right. Mahomes, Brady. Who's making that throw? Mahomes can make pretty much any throw on the field.
Yeah.
Better to none. And Rodgers could too, arguably, but he can probably not make as many throws difficulty-wise as Mahomes. Right?
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm...
No, but Mahomes, yeah. Mahomes doesn't throw a prettier ball than Stafford, But Mahomes can probably make any goddamn throw on the field. But when Mahomes throws that 10-yard out, it might wobble a little bit. But it won't be as pretty as Stafford and Rodgers. But Mahomes can make any throw.
You know why Mahomes is going to be – I think Mahomes is going to win probably 6, 7 Super Bowls.
I always think, I thought he was only going to win 4 or 5. But
I think he's going to win 6, 7 because he could even win 8 because he's not – he understands. Dude, I can tell he's studied Brady. He's studied Tom Brady. I mean, I see it in his game because just the exact way that they drove down the field in that Super Bowl, the last 2 drives, it is just so Brady-esque of just always every play we're moving the ball. We're never losing. We're just moving the ball 3 yards, 5 yards. We have 2 minutes. We have a minute 50 seconds and 2 timeouts. We can go 99 yards, no problem.
Only him and Tommy Boy
can do something like that.
As guaranteed to win that game.
But if Pat doesn't take that page out of Tom's book and Andy doesn't take that page out of that book and move the ball down the field in that way, I don't think they're doing it. There's no other way to move the ball down the field other than do it like that.
I tweeted this on Backhouse Twitter. By the way, give it a follow. If you're on Twitter, catch our tweets. And I tweeted this, and I said, would it be – I mean, could the Niners sign Tom
I know, I saw
before
that.
overtime? Because I think Tom wins that game. I think if you're going against Mahomes, I think Tom Brady, and as of right now, maybe Joe Burrow, but right now, let's just leave it on Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady in that situation is the only man on the planet that could probably beat Pat Mahomes at that game.
I think if you had...
Yeah, I think so.
I think if the Chiefs are down 3 in that same situation and they're getting the ball like that, I think if you had a guy on defense like Ray Lewis...
I don't think anyone...
No, I think if you had
Ray
Lewis and Ed Reed, that if you had that 2012 Ravens defense, imagine that.
Can we get the Field of Dreams of football? Can we get Ronnie Lott on the field? Can we get Dion on the field?
Just
and
imagine,
all the primes playing Pat.
But I think what I'm saying is Brady probably would have scored.
Yeah.
But
does Mahomes go for 2, and does he win?
I just don't see Mahomes driving the field 2 times in a row the exact same way on a defense like that.
I think Tommy Boy is the only guy that has Mahomes' number, and he has an intimidation factor over Mahomes, and that is why
Mahomes probably would have shit his pants if he came out to the coin flip and saw Tom standing in front of him.
That's your GOAT argument, right? That is why you think Tom's better than Pat, because Tom beat him twice in the playoffs. And full circle moment, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why we do this in Backhouse Productions. Why did they change the overtime rules? Why was Kyle Shanahan? Why did he not tell him?
Well, they've been changed.
No, but why did
they were like that last season?
Why did Kyle Shanahan not tell his team they got 2 possessions in overtime in the Super Bowl? What are 2 games that you can draw back on and say, why'd they change that rule, Jackson? Why are you going to give 2 teams 2 possessions in that Super Bowl?
They don't get guaranteed 2 possessions.
Yeah, they do.
In the overtime?
Yeah, that was a rule. If the Niners score, Chiefs had another chance. That was a rule.
Yeah, no, I know, but that's not 2 possessions. If the Niners receive
and they scored
and they score a touchdown and the Chiefs don't score a touchdown, that's only 1 possession.
No, 2 possessions total. Each team's going to have a chance at the ball.
Yeah, but that's normal in a playoff game.
No. The Buffalo Chiefs
game.
I
know. That's when they changed it after that.
Chiefs score, they win the game.
Yeah, they changed that after that.
But there was 2 prime examples as to why 2 teams should get the ball. I'm making the Brady argument. There's 2 examples why in overtime, in the Super Bowl, there's going to be 2 teams that get the ball.
Because you're saying because Brady did that against Mahomes in overtime?
Brady beats him first drive, first possession in overtime. He scores that touchdown. Chiefs
I don't
lose.
think
then Mahomes did it.
Those games help to shine a light on the flaw in the overtime rule in playoffs. Like, yeah, in regular season, that's a great rule to have to get the games over with faster.
Yeah.
But in playoffs, you can't let the game be decided on and not let the other team get the ball. And especially if it was the Super Bowl and that was still like the rules in the playoffs still, they wouldn't let the Super Bowl would never be decided like that. They would never go to OT, and it's like basically like a gamble. If you score first, that's over. The other team has no chance. They would never let the Super Bowl be like that.
You want to know what's so messed up about that is like there's been 2 overtime changes early 2000, all you had to do was score. Only
A field goal?
you only had to kick a field goal. So if you go back to the old format, Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He won the Super Bowl.
But that's stupid.
Yeah, I know.
You can't do that in a Super
not
Bowl. You
great.
need to have the other team gets the ball.
Exactly.
They should have just honestly. You should just do it like that. The way they have it now is the best way to do it. The team who receives, if you score a touchdown, the other team has to score a touchdown, and if they don't, it's over.
I agree.
If the team who receives gets a field goal, the team next can score a touchdown and win the game.
Give them a chance.
If both teams don't score at all, or score tie points on both drives, you give them, then it's sudden death.
Wait, is that the new rule though? Like, okay, if yeah, you're right.
Yeah, then
Yeah, it's
like
sudden death
the
right
next
after two
team. So
possessions.
if both teams score a touchdown, the next team to score wins.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's why it is good to receive
I
first.
love it.
Also,
Oh,
because if you receive first and score a touchdown, the other team has to score a touchdown, and you get the ball again. If you score a touchdown, it's over.
how many fourth? Okay, wait. How many times did the Chiefs go for? How many times did the Chiefs go for? How many times did they go for it in that overtime?
Just one time.
It was only one
Only
time.
that one fourth down.
Really?
Yeah.
How many times did they like convert on third down?
The Chiefs?
Yeah. Oh,
On
I
that-
think
On
that,
the overtime?
yeah, I think a lot of it they did convert a lot.
Well, if you count the fourth down, no, I remember watching. They got that third down, and then they handed it off, didn't get it, and it was fourth down. No, I don't think I think that was the only third down they might have had. Maybe one other one.
I guess you could.
You're thinking in the fourth quarter drive, the
No,
last drive of the fourth quarter.
No, because
that was third downs that they had got converted.
I think the Niners should have definitely defended right there. Why would you take the ball against Mahomes?
Mahomes couldn't believe it.
That's what I mean. Like if Mahomes scores right there,
The reason they do it is because
the Niners know they have to score. Now.
I know, but the reason it's because you don't understand the amount of pressure that puts on that Niners offense.
You're gonna lose. You lost the game anyways. Like let's at least know we have to score. Let's at least know that Chris Jones play is not the last play.
Well, Jaquan Jennings was wide open in the back of the end zone on that play.
Fuck, I know. Brandon Ayuk was wide open too. Did you see that? He made that double move.
Yeah, but what can you do if the guy blows a block? I mean,
No.
it's not their fault.
I understand that. But if Pat Mahomes gets the ball first, he goes down, and he's going to score because he is Pat Mahomes. Now, if you're Kyle Shanahan, you know we got 4 plays
Yeah,
in the
it's
red
easy
zone.
to say
you
that.
know you're
I
going to
get
score.
it.
No, it's not easy to say.
It's
so obvious. If you know the overtime rules, you know you have to give Pat Mahomes the ball first because you don't want Pat Mahomes playing fucking decider of how the Super Bowl ends. You want the Chiefs' defense to at least win the game for the Chiefs. You don't want Pat Mahomes rolling out, fucking handing the ball off, basically, to McCole Hardman to win the Super Bowl. That sucks if you're the Niners.
I don't know how they didn't see that coming.
I know.
Literally, when Hardman starts going in motion, I go, he's getting the ball. Right when he starts stopping and starts coming back out, right before Mahomes says hike, I go, that guy's getting the ball.
And that shows the brilliance of Andy Reid because he did that against the Browns, too. You remember that play?
No,
I was at your house. That same play was ran. Remember we were watching the game, rooting so fucking hard for Baker Mayfield to win that game. Mahomes gets hurt in the fourth quarter. And then it was like 24-20 with Chad Henne. You remember Chad Henne?
Yeah, I know Chad Henne.
Chad Henne to Tyreek Hill, 4th and 1 on the 50. Throws that same play to Tyreek Hill. Same play. The game ended after that. Chiefs ran the ball out.
That
they go to
play's
the
gonna
NFC
work.
Championship game. Same play. Ran in the Super Bowl to McCole Hardman. They win the fucking
That
game.
play's going to work every single time when you have a guy as fast as Tyreek or McCole Hardman. It's
Okay.
going to work every time. It's going to work.
Absolutely. That play and that play on 4th and 1 with the read option and then with an RPO with Travis Kelce going to the flat. Hands down, one of the hardest plays to stop.
Especially for 1 yard.
And a short yardage situation
Yeah,
with Pat Mahomes at the helm.
It's almost impossible.
The brilliance of Andy Reid. Unbelievable. Give your hats to him. He's a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame quarterback.
You know what I find what fucking frustrates me so bad is that there are guys in the NFL. The NFL is the top of the top echelon of football.
Yeah.
There are guys like Andy Reid that are coaches, and then there's guys like the defensive fucking coordinator as the Niners. How does that guy even get a job in the NFL?
Jackson.
And you know what? Another thing is crazy too. So the Seahawks just signed. Who's the Seahawks coach that they just signed? You probably don't even know.
No, he's a young coach.
Yeah, he's some
super
young
young,
guy.
36.
So this is how
coach.
guys like that defensive coordinator get jobs. It's because a guy like that gets signed as head coach. Because I guess he's bringing in now his offensive coordinator. He's bringing in is some guy from some young guy from college.
Boston College.
Yeah, who's never coached in the NFL before, and now he's just getting a job as an offensive coordinator as a team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who this guy is. He could be a great offensive coordinator. I don't know.
Probably is.
But these guys, like the guy for the defensive, how do these guys get these big jobs if they don't even know what the hell is going on?
Sean McVay.
Yeah, Sean McVay's great.
No. Sean McVay was the first young coach that somebody took a gamble on. He goes to Super
No,
Bowls.
I don't
he
think
wins the Super Bowl.
The
It's a
defensive
copycat.
coordinator.
It's a copycat league.
No, the D coordinator isn't some young guy. It's just some guy I've never heard of.
Wait, on the Niners?
Yeah.
Oh, well then wait, what are you saying?
I'm just saying, how does he get a job?
Oh, I don't
How
know.
does he get a job when there's coaches as great as Andy Reid? There's great coaches in this league. How does a dipshit who doesn't even understand football? I feel like I know what's going on more than he does.
Jackson. It's all Shanahan's fault. Can we tell Juszczyk defend? Don't take the ball first in overtime. That's all I'm saying.
You mean Fred Warner? Fred Warner was doing
I thought
the
it was you.
flip.
Oh, because Juszczyk said it at the end. He's like, "We do know the rules." Yeah. Can Fred Warner say, "We want to defend"?
Well, you know he's telling him. Kyle told him we want the ball, Fred.
Exactly. Because Kyle didn't know the rules. Probably Kyle did not know the fucking rules.
How do you not know the rules?
They all said it at the end, Jackson.
What did they think the rules were? They thought the Super Bowl was going to be over if they just scored a touchdown, it's over? There's no way they thought that.
No, I swear to God, that's what they thought. Because that was the old rules. That was the rules in the regular season.
Yeah.
So they probably thought the same rules applied
The
to the postseason.
The postseason has had different playoff rules for the past 2 seasons now. It has been these playoff rules.
Jackson, there's 2 guys that said that.
Yeah, but
And then
they're
even after
retarded,
the
yeah.
fact, you have said this. You said, I agree with the call. You
Yeah,
said
I
that.
agree that they took the ball.
Yeah, I don't
think
agree
that's
with
the
that.
right thing to do.
If they knew the rules, you agree with that.
Yes. Just because of
The pressure?
yeah,
They
because
lost anyways.
if it doesn't matter. But if Mahomes scores, I don't even think they have a. It's the interception or something. It's a fucking
dude, they
problem.
lost the Super Bowl anyways.
They scored on the first. It's the defense's fault for not stopping them 2 times in a row. The offense got them the lead.
I would rather have the Chiefs defense out there than Pat Mahomes throwing a fucking handoff to McCole Hardman to end the game. Right? I want I want Chris Jones to sack Purdy on a 4th and 5 on in the red zone. I want that to fucking happen.
At least they had a chance, dude. They had a chance. They scored. It has nothing to do with Purdy or their offense or anything.
How long have we been doing this?
I don't know.
Doggy?
I don't know, but it's
I am
not.
so low right now.
All right, let's stop.
I am so fucking low. I'm a fucking.
All right, let's stop.
Hold on. And thank you for listening, and go fuck yourself.